everyone. Today, this is another recommendation video. If you're a woman and basically you love reading books, today I have some of the great recommendations for you. So, let's go. You can start with The Thousand Splendid Sun, written by Khalid Hosseini. In this book, basically, Khalid Hosseini portrayed the political and economic condition of women in Afghanistan. He also beautifully portrayed how they were physically and mentally very much, abused at that point of time and what they were going through. The women were not allowed to go to schools, they were forced to get married at a very young age, and they also suffered from early young pregnancies and how it was so difficult for them to go through. So I think every woman should read this book once in their lifetime. I think it's all worth the hype. And spoiler alert is that this book is going to break your heart into so many pieces. So please read it with a box of tissue papers and hold your heart tight. That's all. Next one is my all time favorite, All the Lovers in the Night, written by Miyoko Kawakami. I don't know, I feel like Miyoko Kawakami is one of the authors who really makes me comfortable in her books. I mean, whatever she writes, I think at a certain point of time reading of her book, I feel like she's talking about me or us. It's so relatable. And basically, in this book, she talks about a girl named Fuyoko, and she beautifully shows what are the difficulties she's going through. I mean, the author talks about what are the mental challenges she's going through. She's unable to speak to her parents about her problems. She also don't have many friends to share her problem with, and she's not in any kind of relationship. So it is very difficult for her to continue her life the way she's doing. So she, after a certain time, she finds someone that she can truly believe and started liking a little bit. So the story starts smoothly, but it ends terribly between both of them. But the readers are happy because at least that happened. Next one, we can go to some classics. Wuthering Heights. I know. It's a very controversial book all over the world. Many people think what toxicity is there in the book. I also started thinking when I was reading this book. I was like, what? It is full of toxic things. And but my perception changed after I finished this book, because after finishing it I felt like no. Yes, obviously it touched many parts which were really controversial recently in our times, but I thought about the timeline of the book, and keeping in mind the timeline of the book, and when I was reading it I understood the author was so ahead of her time. So I think all women should give it a try. Not only women, men also. Please give this book a try. You will love it. And it will make you very confused about your review. The next, we are talking about Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I know, if you are really craving for something old Hollywood style, then you must give this book a try, because this book is based on a very famous Hollywood actress in the 90s, and she had seven marriages with seven different husbands, and her life was very glamorous, very luxurious, and she was always in front of the cameras, and she worked very hard actually to uh, achieve that place in her life. And when she finally did, her life was very controversial when she was very young, but